Have you ever known two people so connected, so in sync, that they
Finish one another's sentences
are speakers today?
are an example of that synergy.
In fact, together they have taken on a new identity, not as Sophie and Nia.
But as Nia
Please welcome Nia McInnis
and Sofia Cranford
to deliver the senior speech.
Parents, friends, relatives, trustees, and class of 2022, welcome. We've made it to the finish line. I don't want to be cheesy, but today I'm going to be talking about mac and cheese. In my experience about thinking about Eagle Hill and the perfect metaphor for it, I decided on mac and cheese. I know. One doesn't usually equate school with mac and cheese. And one certainly doesn't equate Eagle Hill thinking about mac and cheese when thinking about Eagle Hill. But bear with me. Think about the perfect mac and cheese. Close your eyes and think about the steaming melted cheese cooked on top of the perfectly cooked pasta. Can you smell it? I can. Good. Now we're all on the same page, I would like to suggest that Eagle Hill is like my mother's mac and cheese. My mother's mac and cheese has the following ingredients in it: elbow pasta, heavy cream, black pepper, and cheese. Like my mother's mac and cheese, Eagle Hill has given me all the ingredients needed to make me the person I am today. The base, and probably one of the most important parts of any mac and cheese, is the pasta. Think about it. Elbows are kind of what makes mac and cheese, mac and cheese. What makes Eagle Hill, is the faculty. During my time here, I've worked with very dedicated faculty members to see all of us succeed. I remember a time I was really struggling with math. I was just complaining to Dr. Riendo about not liking the class and not understanding the work. I knew I needed to go talk to my teacher, but I was very hesitant to go. He told me that we can go together. We then went and talked to my teacher and discussed a plan where I would go get the help that I needed. After that conversation, I went to that teacher almost every morning. I finally began to understand what was going on in my class, and my grades began to improve. If I did not have that conversation with Dr. Riendo, I wouldn't have pushed myself, or really have been pushed, to go get the help that I needed.
This year, I had a class I just knew I couldn't do well in. I, too, went to Dr. Riendo to plead with him to move me into another section. Riendo just gave me that look, rolled his eyes, and said, "Not happening, misery." So, I put on my miserable, grumpy face. Yes, I deserve that nickname. And I was pretty upset with him, too. But now, I want to thank him for telling me no and for teaching me to get over myself, to become myself.
Back to the recipe. The egg is also quite important in the mac and cheese. The egg is essentially what holds the mac and cheese together. This reminds me of my days just sitting in Mrs. Kelly's office and watching her work. She was and is always focused on getting what needs to be done, but still take the time to talk to me about my day. She is always on the move, and it can be very hard to find her. Trust me, I know. I was her assistant, and I still couldn't track her. She truly is essential to holding life here together, much like the egg and the mac and cheese. I know all of you have had moments with faculty who have held you together by simply being understanding or willing to listen.
Or willing you to tell yourself to get over yourself.
I think another underrated ingredient in my mom's recipe is the heavy cream. The heavy cream is what gives mac and cheese the richness that makes it so good. The variety of people I've met here have given me a rich experience. I've met people from different places across the country and around the world. My friends are the reason I've had so much fun and created great memories. Fun is only a part of the rich experience. I've also gotten to see different viewpoints and different perspectives from people I may have not otherwise interacted with. Eagle Hill allowed me to share those ideas and consider the ideas of others. I know all of you have had this experience, and some of you have even shared your ideas with me, and vice versa. I'm richer for this experience, an experience that has also sometimes been stressful.
For example, I have always felt nervous around crowds of people and worried that people would have no interest in what I might have to say. Standing here, speaking to hundreds of people, many of whom I have never met, is something that I never thought I would do. The thought of standing up here made my stomach turn, my forehead break out into a very cold sweat, and my mind start shrieking, "No way." And yet, here I am. I'm standing up here right now sharing something really personal with all of you. My experience here has been first and foremost about confidence, conquering fears, and tough love, and that's where the faculty comes in. Because of course, the night before the speech was due, I had secretly breathed a huge sigh of relief that I escaped the speech writing. A teacher tracked me down. He found me and he yelled with his big voice right across the dining hall in front of everyone as soon as I walked in, "Sofia, where is your speech?" So, here I stand. Here I stand doing what I have come to realize is my nature, accepting challenges and proving to myself that I can conquer my fears and I can reach for my dreams. We all can, and I think that has been Eagle Hill's greatest gift to our class. I began my journey at Eagle Hill in the 8th grade, along with Ethan, Rowan, Charlotte, Owen, Wade, and Jack. And when I first arrived, I was a completely different person than I am today. And I mean that. I think you could ask anybody who knows me well, students or teachers, and they would say the same thing. I doubted myself. I doubted my capabilities. In fact, I knew I was not capable. I was doubtful about math. I doubted I could handle the challenges of high school. In a nutshell, I had no confidence. All of my life, people have said, "Have confidence in yourself." But that is not how confidence happens. To me, the faculty is a living definition of tough love. Looking back, I see now how they've always pushed us, sometimes in a way that felt downright unfair, to be our best selves, to accept the challenges, to meet the challenges, and to find the success that allows us to stop doubting ourselves. In 8th grade, I didn't know what this meant, but don't worry, now I do. In 8th grade, I never would have dreamed I could conquer the endless and torturous anatomy exams that I fretted constantly about. Thank you, Mr. Ward. Or that I could qualify to swim at New England's. Thank you, Mrs. Kelly. I often hear that parents hesitate and worry about sending their kids to Eagle Hill because it is a school for students who learn differently. Possibly they worry it'll be easier than it should be, or that the curriculum will be dumbed down because we have been given labels like dyslexia or ADHD. But I'm here to tell you that Eagle Hill is the opposite of that. Eagle Hill builds you up, not by making things easy, but by teaching you to have the confidence you need to do the hard stuff. Eagle Hill allows you to have a say in the challenges you take upon yourself and to make the work as hard as you want it to be. And these are the lessons that last. And I know that each one of my classmates has memories just like the ones I have described. So, my plan is to no longer hide from the challenges, because if I do, I will hear that booming voice across the dining hall calling me out. I encourage you all to do the same, because I know that we are all capable.
I had those memories that Sophie describes, and I think we've come to rely on each other as much as we've come to rely on the faculty. Every cook knows the importance of seasoning their food. For my mother, it is garlic powder and black pepper. My good friends, Diamond James and Sofia Cranford, have been that seasoning in my life. I don't want to say who's the garlic or who's the pepper, but you get the idea. They've added spice to my time here. Diamond has been my rock since we've come here. We move as a duo, and it's gonna be a bit odd not having her around next year, considering we've been together for the past 7 years. Sophie and I have had a friendship that has grown stronger over time. We started out being closer to acquaintances who would just say hi. Then, Sophie and I had math class together, and everyone knows how math class is a great bonding experience. This year, Sophie and I had 4 classes together. I was literally spending 80% of my day with her, and there truly isn't a single person I'd rather spend that much of my day with. I'm so glad we've bonded so much over the years and look forward to our friendship continuing to grow. I imagine we help another unpack our cars as we move our own daughters into Harmsworth Hall one day. I ask all of you to think about the people in your lives who added spice to your time here. It doesn't have to be one or two people exclusively. It could be a group of people or a team you played on. But take a time to reflect on how someone has added some spice to your life here.
Well, Nia, I think the time has come for us to finish this recipe.
As we all know, the best part of mac and cheese is cheese. What even is macaroni and cheese without cheese? For me, Dr. Eric Stone is that cheese. Stone has been my biggest supporter since day one. My very first interaction with him was on my very first day on the Eagle Hill campus. It was summer and I was moving into my dorm room with my parents. I remember seeing a man helping his daughter move into her room next to mine. This man I've never seen in my life strikes a conversation with my mom. I wasn't thinking about it too much then, but little did I know, he was the person that would become such a big part of my life. For the last 4 years, having Dr. Stone around has been great. I don't know how I'd have gotten through these years without him. Whenever I got in over my head and overwhelmed, Stone was there to tell me it would all be all right. Stone was always here to poke fun at me and tell me not to take things too seriously. The highlight of many of my days were simply coming to his office and yelling, "Stoney," just to bother him. Stone is one of a kind. I love and appreciate everything he has done for me for the past 4 years. And I don't think there are any words to express my gratitude. I think all of you can relate to having one person you connected with that made you feel special and worth it. I'm so glad I came to a place that knows how to make each recipe individually and find out what ingredients were right for us.
We all have new and exciting destinations that await us. For me and for Nia, it's nursing school. For Sofia, it's Mansfield Hall. For Sarnelli, it's Western New England. For Samantha and Ryan, it's Lynn University, while Tejas and Sophie are off to Occidental, and the list goes on and on. I have had countless people tell me how rigorous and difficult the college curriculum can be. The old me never would have believed she would be going to nursing school, and most likely would never have applied. But now we know we are all capable and no longer afraid. We have come to embrace our true natures, to accept the challenges, and to prove that we can conquer our fears. And as an aside, as Dr. Riendo likes to tell me, I will be rewarded at the end of this nursing school journey by coming back to push him in his wheelchair. I may just hit a couple potholes on purpose just to remember old times. Always remember the secret ingredients: confidence, conquering fears, and a dash of tough love, Riendo and Stone style. Congratulations, class of 2022.